I switched to Dubsado as my CRM about a year and a half ago. When I was in the beginning part of that process, I hired a specialist to help me set up those processes so that they would be the best that they could be for my clients. I'm going to take you through my experience with that and if I thought it was worth it and if I would suggest that you do the same. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Simpson. I'm helping you maximize your time and talents as a growing small business owner, so make sure to subscribe for new videos every week. So when I switched over to Dubsado, I was using Square as essentially kind of a CRM, even though it's not a true CRM. And if you're not new around here, you already know that I'm a fan of Square as a whole, but I wanted something that kind of housed everything in one place, organized better, had better workflow opportunities, and just kind of wrapped it all in one with a pretty bow. I did debate between Dubsado and a couple other very popular CRMs, and I'm happy to get into that process more in a future video because I did do a lot of research. But when I chose Dubsado, I did the little trial and I realized this would be an undertaking. It's a completely different platform than I've ever worked with, and there are a lot of nuances to it that made it kind of complicated to use when you are coming from never using something like that. So my main priorities were making sure that I could have someone help me set up things like payment plans, forms, and workflows. Workflows being the most important because I really wanted to use this platform to actually take some work off my plate and have some of those emails that you know have to be sent out at 3 months before an event, a month before an event, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to not be having to manually do that anymore. But I still wanted to sound like me and be authentic. I did give it the old college try before hiring someone, and when I tell you I was doing everything wrong, yeah, I needed some help. This is one of those reasons that I say outsourcing is not always a bad thing, okay? So you kind of just need to know when to outsource in your business, which I did go over in a past video if you're curious. So I had found the Dubsado specialist that I wanted to hire through a colleague of mine in the industry. He's a photographer in the wedding industry, and he had used her for, I think it was Pinterest and or blogging. She does the three things. She does Pinterest strategy, blogging, and Dubsado. We had a consultation and I figured that this would be a really good fit. She was able to work with me and kind of customize a plan to my needs. All of this took place fully virtually. We used Zoom, and she, I believe, used Loom to film a couple things that she needed to show me how to do if we weren't on a real-time call. So her primary task was to set up workflows for me. That was the thing that I really needed someone else to physically do. But with that being said, she was able to break down a list of what I had to do first so that the workflows could be set up properly and easily. She gave me this great PDF, so I was able to break down everything that I would possibly need. So I had to start by putting together a bunch of canned emails. And canned emails are basically those kind of emails that you are going to send automatically to a lot of people. They're a bit more general, but they apply to a lot of situations. So for example, I have different emails that go out a year before a wedding, 6 months before, 3 months before, a month, a week, all that kind of stuff. Those are canned emails. I also created canned emails for when we get an inquiry that we are not available for, because I recommend the same people and it just made it easier to click send. There's also canned emails for friendly reminders for when payments are due, and you get the gist. There's a bunch of canned emails that I created, especially because I did create these for not only the wedding side of our business, but also lashes and brows and makeup appointments, etc. Those emails arguably took the longest out of this whole process for me to do. I still wanted them to sound authentic and like me so that they go along with the brand and they're personal and the client doesn't feel like just another number. Once I was done with those, I also had to come up with packages and payment plans. So the packages are where you put the items or the services that you do and how much they are. So if you have to put makeup appointment, $100, or hair appointment, $100, that's where you put those so that the system knows what you're charging and what it's for. Then you also create payment plans. So for example, when someone is booking a wedding with us, half of the total is due at the time of booking and the other half is due 2 weeks before the wedding. So this is a 50-50 payment plan. And with it comes those canned reminders for when that remaining balance payment is coming up, and the payment plan just kind of evenly splits it without you having to do the physical math. There's also the option for pay in full payment plans. So essentially, when I take a 50% retainer to reserve an appointment at the studio, I just put pay in full because I'm only putting what that 50% is in, and the whole thing is due to be able to book the appointment, if that makes sense. So that is a pay in full payment plan. I also had to go into the calendar scheduling section to put what my business hours are so that if you're going in and scheduling an appointment, you can only book between these times. And I also had to physically put in how much time each appointment takes so that they're booked accordingly, and so that the client knows what to expect, how long to be there, and on our end, we don't get overbooked. So as you can see, there was a lot of heavy lifting on my end still, but the reason there was is because I didn't hire her for like a full Dubsado setup, which you absolutely can if you'd like. For me, I like that middle ground of hiring someone to help in the areas that I truly desperately need it, but I also like having a hand in things so that I understand what's happening in my business and I understand how to work with something, and I'm not that kind of CEO that is completely confused because I didn't have anything to do with it. So once all of that was set up, she was ready to put the workflows together. Now for the workflows, I also had to inform her what needed to be in the workflows, what was important, okay? So what are the steps of from the moment you get an inquiry to when you are completely booked with a wedding? Every single step. So that can include inquiry follow-ups, it can include different forms that need to be filled out, contracts and invoices, more follow-ups, different payment plans, switching the project over from a lead to a job, asking for a review at the end, archiving the project, all of it. It needed to be included. And so we did this for a wedding plan. We did it for a lash lift and tint, a brow lamination, a makeup appointment, a hair appointment, makeup and hair appointment. We kind of set up all of these templates so that in the future I can tweak them as necessary. And let me tell you, I definitely have, ever since setting these up initially, I definitely have actually tweaked a few of these workflows, but now I have much more of an understanding of how to do that without completely ruining everything. And let me tell you, that's really important because you have to make sure you're testing your workflows on yourself completely multiple times before you send them to clients. I did have a couple oopsies with clients, and of course they were wonderful and understanding, but it's embarrassing nonetheless, and you also don't want to annoy your clients. I want to say this whole experience took several weeks to put together, and I honestly think that that was more on my end because I was really like in it and I was trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. I had a bunch of questions as we went back and forth of how to add something, how to edit something, and so I wanted to make sure that, again, I was fully understanding it and that it was set up properly. But once she took the reins and made the workflows, like, she went with it and she knew exactly what she was doing, obviously, because this is her specialty. And like I said, ever since, things have been operating very smoothly. Every now and then, I still have random Dubsado questions, and their customer service is incredible. I can always reach someone through their chat within a few hours, and so that's been really helpful. Like if a payment isn't going through for some reason, or I want to know how to combine different forms into an email, or just whatever the case may be. But all in all, I definitely would recommend hiring a Dubsado specialist for helping you on this journey if you have never used it before, and especially if you have never used a formal CRM before. So I absolutely think that hiring a Dubsado specialist is worth it. It was very worth it for me, very worth the cost that went into it, just to have that peace of mind and make sure that my business is operating smoothly. I'm going to leave who I used in the description box below, so make sure to contact her if you need some help setting up a Dubsado as a whole or any of these kind of intricacies. I'm sure she's happy to help. She is located on the East Coast of the US, but like I said, she works remotely. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you want some more breakdowns of all things Dubsado in the future. Like I said, now that I have been using it for a year and a half, I feel pretty good about it, and it is only getting better as they add more features, so I would definitely recommend looking into it as a CRM. But if you are still curious about all things Square, make sure to watch this video for a full breakdown of my pros and cons in the software.